Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to colorful Colorado. Haley and I have spent most of the morning driving about 3 hours through New Mexico and out of Arizona. Not really a whole lot to see for that part of the drive. It's a lot of just expansive nothingness, which is kind of awesome. It always makes me it's very thought-provoking to me. Just stopped to take a picture with the sign and let Haley out, and I grabbed a coffee in the last town. We've got another 2.5 hours of driving. We are headed up to Telluride, Colorado. I've heard nothing but good things, and I found a super beautiful mountain overlook spot for us to tuck into for the night. I'm so excited. I have always wanted to explore Colorado, but the last time Josh and I were here, we were only here for 2 days, and there's just so much more that I wanted to do. So I raced up here to get a little bit more exploring in before I head to Texas for the holidays. But I also did find out I have a last-minute house guest flying into Denver on Monday morning, and I have a ton of work to catch up on. Over the course of today and tomorrow, I'll get some things wrapped up for my clients and some content finished up for you guys so that I have my whole week next week to relax and enjoy my company and enjoy Colorado. So, without further ado, keys, coffee. It's a Christmas coffee. It's actually just a black coffee, but it's in a Christmas cup, so that makes it fun. Seatbelts! Safety first. This campsite is so epic, and I definitely worked to get here. It was 6 miles down a very bumpy dirt road, but I got to see so many beautiful, gigantic, luxurious mountain homes on the way back here. The road goes through some private property. But the kicker is, I got up here, the iOverlander listing for this spot said that the signal up here was excellent. And I don't have any. My signal is kind of cutting in and out, so I'm assuming if I still had a functioning Wii Boost, I might be in the clear to stay up for here for the evening, but I do actually have a lot of work to get done, and this is probably the #1 reason I really don't like arriving to campsites after dark, because I'm gonna have to drive all the way back down and find something else. But I am gonna start hiking pretty early because we gotta get up in these mountains to get the full effect. So I'm thinking Haley and I might just hang out here for a little while. We went on a mile or so walk further up this road, did a little exploring, and we might just head into town and find a parking lot to sleep in for the night, because I really do have some stuff to get done, and kind of just comes with van life sometimes, I guess. Sometimes it's beautiful and picturesque, and if I was not traveling by myself and didn't have work to get done, I'd definitely be staying. So I'm gonna drop a pin so I remember where it is if I ever come back out here, but I think I've got to say my goodbyes. It's gonna be so hard. I want to sleep here so bad. So, after I drove back down to Service, I learned very quickly that there's not a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel in the Telluride area. It was like another hour to get to a Walmart, but then I'd be driving away from all the hikes that I wanted to do. So I posted up in the gas station parking lot. I've been trying to be really quiet. I've just been getting some work done over here, and now I'm cooking up a little van pizza for dinner. Yeah, so hopefully it's a quiet sleep, no knocks at the door. I really don't love this type of sleeping situation, but it's a nice area. The gas station's nice. Feeling safe. Just trying to fly under the radar for the evening, but I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, good morning guys! I didn't get up quite as early as I would have liked. I didn't sleep very well. I don't know if I was just nervous about getting a knock. There's a lot of noise. Yeah, so just didn't sleep that great. Happens sometimes. But as a thank you to them for unknowingly let me sleep in their parking lot, I went inside and grabbed breakfast and a coffee. My grandma was really kind and sent me this little thermos. So I'm gonna put some coffee in it. I already had some this morning that I made. I'm gonna take this on my hike with me since it's like kind of cold and snowy here. I thought it would be nice to have like something warm to eat on the hike. It's only a few minutes from here. I haven't made like a super concrete plan for the rest of this week after yesterday. My only for sure plan is to be parked for the night somewhere before dark. There definitely are conditions for there to be ice on the road here, and I don't have snow tires. I'm also just not the most comfortable driving on ice, especially on mountain roads. So better safe than sorry. The hike is about 6 miles that we're doing today. So the Walmart that I'm hoping to sleep at is about an hour from here. So as long as we're done with the hike by 3 o'clock, we should be fine, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Worst case scenario, I can sleep at the spot with no service that I was at last night. I just have to kind of plan ahead for that so that I can let all my family, Josh, everybody know that I'm not gonna have signal and where I'm gonna be located and when they'll hear from me. And when they will hear from me again. It's freezing. The water in Haley's dish that is on the ground in here like kind of started to freeze last night. So glad we got a stop here in Telluride before the snow starts to hit because they are kind of expecting that in a couple of days. So we got here just in time and I'm ready to explore. Okay, so honestly I'm just like really struggling in Telluride is what's happening this week. It's freaking gorgeous here, but it's not the most accessible. So I got to the trailhead and I followed the directions all the way here and it's an apartment complex. So I guess the parking is all the way back by the gas station that I was just at like, it's like 3 miles from here, and there's a free gondola that brings visitors to downtown to explore. But I don't know if Haley can go on a gondola / will want to go on a gondola. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do here because there's not really any public parking in town that's longer than 2 hours and I can't park at this apartment complex. Okay, so I found some street parking and I asked some of the locals and they said that I can park here and then I pay a little meter thingy. So hopefully it lets me do like 4 or 5 hours so I can walk around town a little bit too after our hike. Trailhead isn't too far. But if you are planning on coming here, the parking situation is kind of a mess. So a little bit of a stressful start to our day, but you know what's new here this week. Okay, we are finally off, but we are hustling because they only let you pay for 3 hours. Luckily, we're parked pretty close to the trailhead. It's 5 miles, so I think 3 hours is definitely doable, but I set a timer on my phone for an hour and a half to make sure that we turn around. Got my map pulled up on all trails. Pretty sure I found the trailhead, and Miss Impatient here is ready to go. There's snow in my boots, but the view of the frozen falls is so worth it. I just sat down to drink some coffee and warm my fingers up because I made the very poor choice of touching the snow. Oh my goodness, it's so warm. It's so warm. Here's your water. This feels a little bit straight out of Narnia. I have never seen a frozen waterfall before. You can still see the water that's flowing underneath the top frozen layer because it is a pretty big falls. It's just, it's so beautiful. Something about the winter, man. I just love it. Didn't quite get turned around by the 1.5 hour mark, but the hike up here was pretty much steady incline. So the walk back should be quick and easy. We did do a little off-roading for like the best view of the falls there. So now we are racing the parking meter back to the van. One of my biggest fears with this lifestyle, van life in general, is that I'm gonna come back from a hike, adventure, anything like that, and the van is just gonna be gone. So I always have a little bit of that anxiety in the back of my mind, but over the years I've kind of gotten used to it, and I take a lot of measures to prevent that from happening. Made it back. I've honestly never seen a trailhead that starts in an apartment complex parking lot before, but living here would be pretty clutch. I ended up having a little bit of time left on my meter, so I decided to do a little bit of exploring, and I found out they've got a gondola here and it's free to ride, and she said, the lady at the information desk said it's totally worth it just for the views, and only takes about 25 minutes round trip. So I went back to the van, fed Haley her breakfast and tucked her in, grabbed my mask, and this will be my very first ever time going near a ski resort and going on a gondola, and I'm really excited. In between my rides, I actually spent a little bit of time talking to the girl that scans the recreational passes here for skiers and snowboarders, and she actually told me that this particular ski resort, the Telluride ski resort, is hiring for this season, and they have employee housing that's only $200 a month, and you get a 1 hour ski break every shift, and you actually take the chairlift up to work for the day from like 30 feet outside of the employee housing. That's so incredible, and I've always wanted to try some seasonal work like that, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this information in my back pocket, but I thought I'd share in case any of you guys are interested in an experience like this and a way that you can come and live somewhere like this for a lot cheaper than you would be able to otherwise. Also, I mean, just how could you not just have a great day every day, like looking at this, right? Now if I ever go skiing, this is where you're gonna find me, on the bunny slopes. I've actually never really tried any winter sports, but my curiosity has suddenly spiked drastically. So you can actually eat in here, and there's a heater that you can turn on and close the doors so you can stay nice and warm on your breaks from the slopes. This is incredible. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun and so unexpected. That's so cool. That's considered their public transit here. And today's actually opening day for the ski slope, so there's a lot of excitement in the air here. I know I had a little bit of a rough start here this morning, but anytime I go to a new place, honestly, you just kind of run into that. You don't know what to expect somewhere that you've never been before. So usually there is a little bit of an adjustment period when I get to a new area, but since I'm only really spending last night and this afternoon here, there wasn't really time for me to like adjust and ease into this new area. But I definitely want to come back because I had the best time walking around the resort, and I now have a very strong urge to learn how to ski, so I'll definitely be back. Catch me trying to talk Josh into coming to work here for the spring. But we must move on. We've got to be to Denver by Monday, and it's Friday, and I have a little bit more exploring that I want to do in Glenwood Springs. So I looked up the camping area because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it all the way to Glenwood Springs before dark, or if I should stop and sleep at the Walmart on the way. It's a 3.5 hour drive, and it's 1 o'clock now, so I should be able to make it in perfect time. So we're gonna go for it. More driving, and then I'm just gonna spend the weekend in one spot because I'm honestly really tired of moving around. This week has been much more busy than I usually fill my weeks, and I'm definitely starting to feel a little tired, but off we go. Travel can be a bit overwhelming at times, but these drives always leave me feeling at ease. Maybe just driving in general. Just knowing I can move on if something doesn't feel right. I find a lot of comfort in it. I'm also a bit of a dreamer, so I love seeing new towns, how people live in different places I've been so fortunate to travel through. I find myself dreaming up a little life for myself in each place, imagining how good of a life it would be, and how good of a life this is, and this time that I got to live out that dream a little bit because of this van that I call home. You guys, I'm so tired. So the last 3 days I did quite a few activities as well as 4 hours of driving every day, and I've been sleeping in parking lots, so I haven't gotten a ton of good sleep. So I'm just really excited to tuck into bed tonight, knowing that I can sleep in the morning, I'm allowed to be here, I can stay here in the morning, I can be outside, Haley can be outside. I'm just feeling really happy. I am definitely more of a slow traveler, so the past few days have me really worn out. They have been incredible, but exhausted. It just feels really good sometimes after a few kind of rocky or, I don't know, just chaotic days of van life to just park somewhere that you feel really comfortable. I think finding a balance between those parking lot sleeps and nature sleeps for me is a very big deal. My mental health is just all around a lot better when I spend a few days a week out in nature, somewhere that I know that I can just stay, watch the sunrise, just kind of be in tune with nature, and I think finding that balance has really been helping me on the road. But I think I'm just rambling out of exhaustion now. Good night. This feels a little bit... What do you want? This is coffee. You can't have this.